Hi, welcome back to the greenhouse. Today we're going to talk about transplanting some of our seedlings that we've gotten in place.
So you can see here we've got our peas that have really outgrown. Now that's one thing that's about transplanting that's great whenever you're using trays like this. You don't have to transplant everything at the same time. You can just, for those things that are ready, you can go ahead and transplant those and leave the rest and they'll be just fine.
So today when we do the transplants, we're just going to use containers that we've had around. These particular containers have holes in the bottom. As you can see, they are just a little bit bigger than what we have to transplant. We also have our handy dandy plastic cups.
And we're going to go ahead and transplant the peas in these plastic cups just because, as you can see, peas have this nice hearty stalk going. So what we're going to do is just fill the dirt about halfway, because these are actually in small cells right now. They're not in the larger, like these are in a little bit larger of a container. So whenever we put these in there, it'll put them in a bigger container and allow them to grow and still kind of give them that support that they need for their stalk, so their leaves can kind of rest and things like that on this. And we can even stake them if we need to with popsicle sticks or even
or whatever. Yeah. We also, as we're transplanting, you want to kind of let your soil go a little bit dry whenever you're transplant. So then you're not wrestling with trying to pull on your plant and really dig it out. It'll break free much easier.
The roots won't be so bound up in that wet soil, so they'll come through a little easier in that drier soil. So we're going to go ahead and fill these pots and prepare them, and then we'll see you guys back here in a second. Okay, while she's filling up these containers, getting ready for the peas and the Brussels sprouts to be transplanted, I'm going to go ahead and cut these nasturtium that are ready to be transplanted, because they were planted in these peat pots. So these actually, you just break off the pod that you're going to use to plant, and you can actually just put it in your larger container and it'll disintegrate around it, and it's not going to obstruct any growth or anything else. So for these ones that were planted in these peat pots, we're just going to go ahead and leave them in there. We don't have to disrupt the soil. We don't have to do anything. We're just going to go ahead and put them in larger containers. I'm going to pull your big giant yellow dollar sticker out.
Okay.
No, sort of.
Because we did get these containers at a yard sale, believe it or not. So you can find these just about anywhere that you want to look. A lot of times, sometimes people will even put them out by their driveways and say free. So if you can pick some of these up, that's quite handy. So we have these nasturtiums have been growing in one of the seed trays that we had, which is quite moist. And these, since they are a peat seed tray, as you can see, they come apart quite easily and you can just cut them. So we already have roots starting. When you have the peat pot, you want to kind of break the sides up just a smidge as you're putting it in. Will just help it to biodegrade a little bit. So these are nasturtiums. They're a flowering plant that is also edible.
And it's a great companion plant. What it kind of does is, not only is it edible, but it also helps deter some pests away from your other plants. So they're very beneficial in planting in your garden, in and around your garden, even in your flower beds. So they're one of those that you really do want to plant. And see, what's great about this and doing it this way is, yes, we are still planting multiple plants in this pot here, but it's large enough to take multiple plants. And what we'll be able to do then is pull those and break those apart whenever we're ready to transplant them and put them separately. Now, some of them we may want to leave in larger
pots.
Pots, yeah. So,
and these do, like we said before, they are edible. And I did recently see a video where someone made a roll-up
I seen that
out of a nasturtium leaf with some slices of pepper and cream cheese. So once these get to be a little bit of a size, we'll do a little taste testing type video and let you all know how that works. So
and it's not just their leaves, they're edible. Their flowers are also edible,
yes.
And a lot of people like to use their flowers as garnishes in salads. And again, just at the end, she's going ahead and spritzing it, giving it a nice, good drink. One thing that you'll notice is she is not filling these pots all the way up to the top, because not only do you want room for the amount of soil that they're in now, but you also want to put some soil in on top as well. So you're not going to maintain the same level here. You want to kind of come up to the next growth or the next leaf, okay, that you see on your plants, and kind of bury that stalk a little bit because it helps it become more sturdy. Okay, so I think we are ready here. If I'll move this out of the way for right now.
Okay, so we're going to take, this fellow has gotten quite large. So usually it helps if you squeeze around the edge of your pot, especially if it's plastic like that one. As you can see, this pulled out fairly easily, and you can see there are some root fibers there at the bottom. So we want to kind of break this up a little bit by just gently squeezing.
You want to kind of loosen those roots up a little bit.
Drop the plant in. Take a little bit more soil to get to that nub that Becky was talking about, or the leaf.
And even if you kind of bury that first leaf, that's okay, because that's not where the main growth of the plant is. The main growth of the plant is going to be at the tip of the plant and at the tip of the root. That's where you're going to have all new growth.
Then we're going to give this little guy some water. And we're using a spray bottle at this time because it just gives us the ability to actually direct the amount of water that we're putting on the seedlings as they're still pretty fragile. And that's it.
As easy as that. So now we're going to go ahead and transplant some of these pea pots and show you how to get them out of here. So we're just going to go ahead and kind of make a little hole here. Now, these are plastic. Okay, so they're not as easy to remove, so they may require a little work around. So you just want to kind of make sure you grab the entire thing. And again, you can see that came out in completion. You can see the root there, and you can see that this guy was more than ready to be transplanted. So again, we're just going to gently loosen that up, just so he can go ahead and keep on growing.
I think
we're good. Okay, now with these, because they're so tall and have such a tall stalk, we're going to go ahead and start dumping some of this dirt in here and kind of pressing this dirt down a little, because we want this guy to stand tall and straight. And so we don't want to compact it too tightly, but we do want to compact it just a little, just so it can stand tall. I'll just do a little bit more here. And I went ahead and I'm covering, I'm not quite sure if you can see, but that is the bottom leaf right here. And I'm just going to go ahead and kind of cover that. Oh, we got a rock in there. And we're going to go ahead and spritz that again. And then these guys should be ready to go on the ground here in a couple of weeks. And we did get a surprise snow. If you watched my video of my setup, which I'll go ahead and link that down below, but we got a surprise snow, a couple days of below freezing temperatures.
And as we said before, the greenhouse does not have electricity, and we do not use the heat mats. So far, everything did really well, with the exception of some nasturtiums, which I had against the glass on the back window. And those ended up getting a little bit frostbitten in there. So we're
going to try and
nurse them back to health. I did have one, if you can hand me that one pot. This was in the same condition, and as you can see, we moved it away from the wall, gave it water, the sun popped out, and we've got some new growth coming in there too. So sometimes when you see this, does not necessarily mean that it's all dead. Sometimes things will spring back. with given the right soil and temperature.
Well, we're going to go ahead and finish transplanting all of these. Again, thank you so much for clicking on the video and watching. We appreciate all of you that have subscribed and continue to watch our videos and like our videos. Please, if you like our content, go ahead and give us a like, hit that subscribe button, and ring the bell. That way you're notified of all future videos.
And thank you so much for all of the comments and any tips that you can give us. We're learning just like everybody else. We appreciate it so much. And remember, you can't grow flowers in garbage. So everybody keep the good soil in your heart. Keep good thoughts and happy things growing in there, and you will produce good seeds. Sow those seeds of kindness. Thanks.
Bye.